So if you don't have a cell phone signal, then that's where you phone home, in the Tankwa Karoo, okay? I said the Tankwa is a quirky place. Good morning and welcome back to Vander's View. Yeah, we are departing here from the beautiful Tankwa Karoo. We stayed over last night in Apollo de Karoo, and of course I'm riding with Emil, my twin brother. There he goes on the CFMoto 450 MT. What a fantastic bike that is. I will still ride it myself. But yeah, welcome back to this series. I'm calling this, of course, the Brothers series. It's the first time ever that I'm doing a series or doing a motorcycle trip with my brother Emil, which is wonderful for me. It's not only the first time that I'm doing a ride with someone, but it is so special to do it with him. Now, as I explained in the previous video, Emil has been riding motorcycles all his life. I only started riding less than 2 years ago, so it is as if this interest of ours is now coinciding later in our lives. But yeah, what a wonderful opportunity and experience. So yeah, we are riding here through the Tankwa Karoo. We have stayed over at Apollo de Karoo last night. Friendly Polar received us here. What a wonderful stay. Apollo de Karoo caters for bikers. I mean, we stayed where they have 6 permanent tents surrounding a communal area. So we had a lovely braai. She organized some braai packs for us. So it was overall just a wonderfully relaxed stay. Yeah, but we just get through this rougher part. It is a bit of a rough road, but yeah, exciting. They also have a bigger accommodation unit, you can see there, that can take quite a few people. But yeah, it is almost next to the Roggeveld plateau here. So the views are wonderfully beautiful. So now we need to take these ramps to get over. Okay. Let me just see. It's a bit of a challenge, so they're catering for bikes by making these ramps, but we missed this ramp now. Okay, so Emil did it safely. Let me just turn around. So we have a bit of a challenge early on. Oh, it's a bit of a steep ramp, but I'm over. And the next one is open. Yeah, so if you've not seen how we ended up at Apollo de Karoo last night or here in the Tankwa Karoo, please have a look at the first video of this series where we rode all the way from Cape Town to the Tankwa Karoo. We rode wonderfully beautiful roads coming there from Ceres and through the Kouwebokkeveld, riding the Katbakkies Pass and also Skittery Pass. So where are we going today? Oh, today is quite a long trip. It is now 7:20 in the morning, so we're trying to start relatively early. We are first departing here from Apollo de Karoo to go to Sutherland. So in Sutherland we need to just fuel up the bikes a bit and so on. But to get to Sutherland we will now take the Verlatenkloof pass, and then from Sutherland we will take the dirt road back to the Tankwa and ride the wonderful Ouberg pass. We are riding, backing up a bit on ourselves by going to Sutherland and then back to the Tankwa Karoo, but it just provides us the opportunity to experience this area even more and to see more of this. But yeah, thanks for coming along, and yeah, please share your comments of maybe your experiences in the Tankwa. I would love to hear it, and I hope you will enjoy this video and this trip with us. I'm of course doing this trip on my Honda CRF 300 Rally. Like all trips in previous series, this is my bike, and of course this bike is built for these roads. So no problem at all, and I know I can trust this bike to take me wherever I want to go. So as long as I've got the courage to take the roads, the Honda CRF will take me there. Maybe I can just mention that we are renting this CFMoto 450 MT from Motorrad in Cape Town. I will put the details in the video description. Yeah, I can highly recommend Motorrad if you just want to rent the bike for a few days. We organized this through the owner, Lourens, and what wonderful service. They got that bike ready for us, and it is running like a charm. They even put on new tires for Emil, so there's no worries about tires. And they've got a fleet, especially of BMW GS's, so of all sizes you can also rent there. They do cater for the overseas market, of course, but anybody can rent a bike there for a few days. They will set you up. They will also put up the additional equipment you may need. So for example, Lourens added 2 pannier bags on Emil's bike, so you can pack his luggage and all sorted in that regard. But you can also rent a few other things, even helmets. So yeah, Motorrad is your place in Cape Town to get you sorted if you need some rental of motorbikes or motorbike equipment. Now I will of course also ride the CFMoto 450 MT at some stage during this series. I would like to review it a bit and just share my experiences. Of course I can compare it now directly to the CRF 300 Rally, which may not be such a direct comparison because the Rally is probably a bit more suited for rougher off-road. It's a lighter bike, it's not as powerful. But to me the CFMoto 450 MT looks like a complete bike. It is so well balanced as an adventure bike. It seems well suited on the open road, well suited on some dirt roads. So yeah, looks like a great bike. Nou, ek dink dit is regs. Ja, is dit nog regs, hoor? Yeah, luckily my GPS is still, yep, getting a bit confused with the roads, but it is definitely to this side. As in every episode of previous series, in this series I will also map the route that we take for every trip. So also for today, if you want to see exactly what route we are taking, go to the video description. There I put a link to a Google Maps route, and you can go and explore yourself, because sometimes it's, I think, very difficult to just view a video and we make turns left and right to know exactly where we rode. So please go and have a look. No, the Tankwa Karoo is a special place. It's of course a huge area, more than 1,500 or almost 1,500 square kilometers, and it lies here between, of course, the Ouberg and then the Roggeveld Mountains, or the Roggeveld Plateau. Yeah, it's one of the most arid regions in South Africa. So many people, I think, try to farm here, but it is so arid that it must be quite a mission to farm here successfully. So these days a large part of the Tankwa Karoo is of course now consisting of the Tankwa Karoo National Park, where a lot of effort has gone into re-establishing wildlife and antelope and so on back into the park. Now we are not in the park now, we are a bit south of the park, but later today we will ride through the whole of the Tankwa Karoo National Park, so I will talk a bit more about it when we get there. But it is, yes, conserving this region and allowing us, all of us, to explore the beauty of this fantastic place. There is not a breath of wind this morning, so it's really a fantastic morning. It's not even cold, we don't even have to dress up to battle the cold in the morning a bit. It is only mid-March, so we don't expect it to be that cold. In fact, last week it was extremely hot. It was about 45 degrees during the day here in the Tankwa, so I'm just pleased that we are missing this with a week, because I think riding in those kind of conditions cannot be that pleasant. So today I don't expect it to become that hot, maybe 25 to the high 20s, maybe not even reaching 30 degrees. So I expect this to be ideal for motorcycle riding. This is the tar road, the R354, heading to Sutherland. Yeah, it's been quite a bit of dirt road riding, so it's actually nice to just get onto a tar road a bit, especially a beautiful one like this. So the R354 is the tar road that connects Fontein to Sutherland. We are now on the lower slopes of the Verlatenkloof pass. Not really started to climb yet, because this pass is quite a steep one, so I expect us to very soon start riding some serious inclines. Unfortunately, we've got a bit of a headwind, so the CRF is battling a bit against the wind at the moment. So yeah, Cholse Gat is a famous pub here next to the road in the Verlatenkloof pass. I'm not so sure, we will probably pass it now very soon. We're not going to make a stop there today, but I think this is a famous place, and a place where one can stop and rest a bit. It says 400 meters is Cholse Gat, but what is interesting about Cholse Gat is that it is actually based in the old toll house of this pass. So I just checked up a bit on Cholse Gat, and apparently Chol and his wife Jackie Herbst, yeah, here it is on our right hand side, Cholse Gat. But Chol and Jackie Herbst, his wife, established that pub in 2014, and yeah, it is based in the toll house. So as in the old days, all these passes had toll houses where you had to pay toll, and that one is quite old. I mean, it was, the last time it was used was in 1907. But maybe just a little bit of history on Verlatenkloof pass. Of course, Verlatenkloof means desolate kloof, so this is a desolate pass. So it was built in 1875, but it was not built by the Bains, but the Bains seems have involvement in all passes. So Thomas Bain was the one that surveyed the route for this pass, I think already in 1874, and this pass was then built 1874 to 1875 by a Scotsman known as William Hesketh. Now William Hesketh, he did a noble thing. He actually built this pass at his own cost when the government did not want to provide funding for the building of this pass. Now the pass is important because in those days it took 14 days, a whole 2 weeks, to take Oxwagon from Fontein, which had an important railway link, of course, but to take an Oxwagon all the way from Fontein to Sutherland. I'm not quite sure about the distance from Fontein to Sutherland. It's probably about 60 or 80 kilometers or so, but 14 days. Yeah. So this pass made this route much more accessible, and William Hesketh, the Scotsman, did it at his own cost, and later on the government actually rewarded him, and he got a farm in this area, so he did not go unpaid then, really. And I'm not sure where it is, but apparently halfway up this pass there is, next to the road, a rock with the inscription of the name of William Hesketh and also the date, 1875, when this pass was built. So yeah, the toll house must also then date from, say, 1875, and as I said, the last time it was used as a toll house was in 1907, and today it is Charles Gat. So I think that is something for the future where a stop can maybe be made. Yeah, but just see how this pass twists up here, and it is a significant incline. Apparently the incline of this pass is about 1 to 8, so it is quite steep, and it takes us up from the Tankwa Karoo valley floor a whole 688 meters to the Roggeveld plateau. So it takes us right into a different climate zone actually. So it is a very, very steep and significant incline. And by the time we reach the top of this pass, I think it's about 18 or 20 kilometers long, so it is quite a distance to go. You can see here it now starts to become really, really twisty. So yeah, here you can see it had to be carved out of the side of this hill here. We have made it now to the town of Sutherland. Now, Sutherland is quite a special place. It is known as one of the coldest places, if not the coldest place in South Africa. So during winter it can get really, really cold. Yeah, this town is of course associated with astronomy and telescopes and space, because this is where the South African Large Telescope and the South African Astronomical Observatory is based. So this theme of space you see everywhere in town. You just pass Sutherland, which is Starland accommodation. But yeah, Sutherland is quite an old town. It was already established in 1855, and it is situated around 1,500 meters above sea level, so it is quite high up. Ah, beautiful little house. So you will see quite a number of these stone houses, and also the church is built from stone. So this town is named after Henry Sutherland, who was the minister actually from Worcester, who traveled to this area a lot to serve this community. So that is where the name comes from. And the most prominent building in town is of course the Dutch Reformed Church. Beautiful. Let's just make a stop there in front of the church. Yeah, so 1855 to 1955, so this is when the town was established, 1855, so that is commemorating it, that arch. Rex 'n bietjie bene. This church has some significant history. You know me, I like to just think about the history here. And on this site, the first church that was built was in 1858, but this is not the one that we see today. The one that we see today was built in 1899. There you can see the steeple as well. Now 1899 in the history of South Africa is of course a very important date, because 1899 was the start of the Anglo-Boer War. So what is interesting about this church is then when it was completed in 1899, at that moment the Anglo-Boer War broke out and the British took over this church, and it was actually not used as a church in that year. The British used it as a fort and also as a lookout point from the steeple, and they also, I think, housed the troops and so on in the church. It is linked to this history because there are graffiti and inscriptions on some parts of the stones, and apparently on the door of the steeple, where the British soldiers inscribed their names and so on the stone. So it just brings a tangible reminder of the history of this church, and also then the Anglo-Boer War, which of course took place 1899 to 1902. But yeah, of course today it is the Dutch Reformed Church, and it is used as a church. So let's just have a bit of a closer look. So it's a magnificent stone structure, beautiful steeple, and even a small little balcony there, 2/3 up the steeple. And this church can apparently seat 1,200 people, so it is not a small church. I see that little balcony is actually on all four sides. Okay, so this is now the beautiful church in Sutherland. So one of the reasons why we had to come to Sutherland is to fill up the bikes, because we filled up in Ceres yesterday and we did now 271 kilometers. So now I just need to look for a fuel station. Not quite sure where it is. So you need to go down this road to get to the SALT telescope, the South African Large Telescope, and here is the Sutherland Planetarium. So I think it is something that can be quite interesting to visit. So that was the town of Sutherland, and as I mentioned, we are heading back to the Tankwa now, and this is going to be a special route. We're going to take the Ouberg pass down the Roggeveld plateau again to get to the Tankwa plains, and to the top of Ouberg pass is now only 48 kilometers. So it's only a, 2.5 kilometer piece of this tar road again, then it is all dirt roads. Yeah, it's a very nice twisty little road. I think the Tankwa, or the roads around the Tankwa and here on the Roggeveld plateau, just provides riders with so many options. You are quite spoiled if you want to do motorcycle riding in this area. Emil was not sure now. we need to go down here. I know there's another turn in front, so let's just make the turn there. Daai kant toe. Kom. Yeah, so we take the less conventional way in. So this will now, take us the last stretch of about 11 kilometers to go to, or to get to the summit of Ouberg Pass. Of course, we start at the summit because the summit is the edge of the plateau. I think we are now at the summit. Yeah, indeed. There we are back on the Tankwa plains. Yeah. Yeah, so this takes us down the Roggeveld plateau to the Tankwa plains below. And it takes us down from 1,400 meters, I think about 800 meters down. So this is a significant descent. So this pass was actually only properly built in 1968 to 1969. So it's only from then that we can actually ride it and drive it with motorcycles and with cars and so on. So yeah, but what a joy, or what a pleasure to ride these magnificent, magnificent roads. Just look at these views. Yeah. Yeah, and the pass is quite a bit, the road is a bit rough. So we have to take it slow. it remains rough. So you need to keep your eyes on the road. Suppose in a car it's a bit easier, but with the motorcycles, the loose stones can catch you out. But yeah, we've descended probably about halfway down the Ouberg pass by now, but still the views remain spectacular. Okay, so now that we've reached the bottom of Ouberg Pass, we're now gonna steadily head in a northerly direction to meet up or cross the boundary of the Tankwa Karoo National Park. Yeah, these dirt roads are so beautiful. I can keep a steady 85 kilometers an hour, no problem. But one always needs to keep your eyes open, of course, for bad patches, but yeah, this one is very smooth. We are actually not too far from Apollo de Karoo at the moment. Apollo de Karoo should be only about 30 kilometers or so in that direction. So we made quite a loop. So if you want to go and see what loop we took, remember I put the routes in a link, on a Google Maps link in the video description, so just go and have a look. So yeah, we did take quite a bit of a detour not to progress that much from where we started this morning, but I hope you will agree that it takes us to beautiful places. And what a special road the Ouberg Pass is. Yeah, I enjoyed that immensely. It's the very first time doing it on a motorcycle, and then to do it with Emil just makes it so much more special. Okay, so we've now made it to the turning point, or the T-junction in the road. So if you go left, you go back to the Apollo de Karoo side. But now we need to turn north to go to the Tankwa Karoo National Park. Now, this will take us a bit into the wind. It's known as the Goue Pond, or the Golden Pound. So if you don't have a cell phone signal, then that's where you phone home, in the Tankwa Karoo, okay? I said the Tankwa is a quirky place. I think some of these buildings are the remnants of farming activity. Some of it may still be in use. But this one in the front is really dilapidated, sure. So yeah, we also have to negotiate the farm gates. Yeah, we're gonna have one or two of these. Emil is asking, where's Annelie? She's the gate opener. Now we have to do it ourselves. The next one is yours. I've learned it's easier to push the bike through than getting up, riding it through and getting off again. All good. crossing a few riverbeds here, but of course this time of the year in March it's all dry. Maybe in 2 months or so the rain should come, then riding in these on these roads becomes a bit of a different story. I think it can be quite tricky with the motorbikes especially, because the Tankwa is a bit prone to flooding and the roads do get damaged. There's even a puddle or two of water, but overall it is very dry. Seems like he's going to take his turn. Jo, it's quite an angle. Gebruik hy klippe, Emil. Yeah, just leaning a bit way over to each side. Now that looks better. Yeah, so I said to Emil, you can stay out of the dust a bit, because it's surprising how much dust a motorcycle can kick up. But you will see now on that CFMoto 450 MT. It's a great bike. I still want to ride it a bit myself. Yeah, I'm struggling with the gears a bit. It's almost as if I cannot ride a motorcycle. Yeah, so luckily the wind is now more from the left, so it's taking the dust a bit away. But yeah, the further we go, it feels just more and more arid, yeah. As if the gaps between the bushes just becoming larger and larger. Yeah, here we are crossing the border with the Tankwa Karoo National Park. So from here going forward you will see no fences anymore, because this is one big protected area.